All right, shalom, Hebrews. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. A message from the Israelite Brotherhood. All right, Hebrews. I just recently, made a few little comments, man, on man, I think it's Facebook, man. Man, it's Israelites, man. Real lost, man. Real lost, and real confused. And man, this is what I want to explain. Some of you Israelites, man, don't know real Israelite history. Is why you going through this, and then you stiff-necked it, and you don't want to listen. How about that? We Israelites are going through our troubles for God's son worship. Worshiping the Egyptian gods. God's sons, man, they got plenty of them. And then how we Israelites were kicked out the land, which caused slavery because of God's son worship. Man, it's a million doctrines in the Israelite community, man. It's a million doctrines, man. It's a million doctrines about Israelite history and how many, is correct. They can't all be correct. 90% gonna be using Jewish people's history. Israelites put their own spin on Israelite history. Y'all say we're gonna all know the truth. All right, check this out. Israelites read history, pick up a few books. Now all of a sudden, they professionals, men on the Israelite history. Man, they ain't got no real significant hours or nothing, but all of a sudden, they get a little few hours in on reading, man, and then they think they got it all down pat. And I'm telling you, man, it don't go like that, man. Almighty, y'all got to be involved with understanding this Israelite history. And I ain't saying that everybody ain't getting the knowledge that Almighty y'all want them to have, but it's a great vast majority, men of us Israelites, man, that's using the Jewish people history, man, and they don't know who the Jews are. They don't know when they come into our heritage. They don't understand nothing about the Jews. The first thing that they'll say is the Khazars. The Khazars, and those be those Israelites, men that believe in the New Testament. In the New Testament history, man. I just recently did this video, well, not this video, but made this comment showing how old Paul say he was an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? If you some kin to the Herodians or Herd dynasty as a relative, then you're an Edomite, because Herd them was outright Edomites. Israelites don't understand when the Edomites came in control of the promised land. How was Herd able to build a temple? How was Herd able to build a temple? How was he able to build a temple if us real Israelites was there? Impossible that we're going to let an Edomite, a known Edomite, sit up and build a temple. Man, Israelites don't even know the real history. Man, I'm finna start busting you Israelites bubbles. Man, is what I'm finna start showing the Ptolemy claiming Israelite history. But man, I think one of the Ptolemy Philadelphia's had the whole our history translated with the 70 Edomite leaders out the temple, you know what I'm saying, during the time. And that the Ptolemies claimed the Israelite heritage and had the Bible translated and protected the promised land thoroughly. All right, you Israelites don't know, man, about the Lichemists. The Lichemists claiming the Israelite heritage and where they come from. They line come from. One of them was a high priest. But man, I think I showed that in one of the videos. But you Israelites, man, don't know. Man, it's like this one Israelite and then outslick. Man, Israelites are outslick theyself. They're outslick theyself with the history. Man, there's one Israelite say, man, I think she say, Paul, hell no, Paul was an Israelite or something like that because because the Egyptians, look, hell no, Paul was black, a black man, mistaken for an Egyptian. Talking about that old devil Paul in the New Testament, that Edomite. Paul was a black man mistaken for an Egyptian, a black race. All right, now what this individual don't understand is that the Greeks, me and the Greeks took the whole Egypt over, especially the northern part where the pyramids and all the good cities and all that was, you know what I'm saying? Man, they took all that over. They took all that over in 332 BC. Now, man, they sailing over here and then they walking around, you know what I'm saying, riding on horses, you know what I'm saying, men to get there and took it over thoroughly, man, to where that they ran the real inhabitants, man, deep off. And then that's why you had Caucasian pharaohs, you know what I'm saying, the Ptolemy and, man, they got statues of them. All right, 332 years, man, of Europeans pulling up. That by the time Jesus was born, that when he went to Egypt, that's all he would have recognized was Caucasians, because he was, could have been possibly won by Jewish sources. Joshua ben Stada, that's what, in Jewish sources, they're going to be more correct than anything. Joshua ben Stada, is what they call it. Man, I think I got this one is going to be probably the most accurate Jesus. Yasha ben Stada. I mean, I ain't got Yasha ben Stada up here, but Jesus ben Pandra, I think is close off the Jesus ben Stada. This is in Jewish sources, man, and they got a lot of Jesuses wrote down, and all these individuals supposed to be saviors and messiahs and so forth, and you can't dispute the Jewish sources. Who is you so-called Israelites, man, to go change Jewish history, man, about their history? You can't do that. Well, in Greek and Roman times, that by the time any of those Jesuses would have went to Egypt, it wouldn't have been nothing but, the Greeks and the Romans, the Caucasians. They come down and took the whole northern coast, of Africa over. It wasn't no, black folks in control. So, if Jesus went there and then Paul being mistaken for an Egyptian, then that's, especially during his time, is because the white folks was looked upon as Egyptians. We're just now getting technology and they discovering the paintings on the walls and stuff, because at first they knocked all the nose off the statues, to where, they got white Egyptian statues and monuments and find them all the time from the Greek era on down, to where Caucasians, become part of the Egyptian culture and so forth. They was following Egyptian culture and religion and practices, so that when Jesus went there, he'd have been there among his folks. You know what I'm saying? He'd have been there, among his folks. So, it don't make no sense for Israelites, to think, I don't know where Israelites get off thinking that the New Testaments were Israelites anyway, when it's a 500-year difference between Tanakh and the New Testament creation. Israelites don't say, well, what happened, in those 500 years, because the Israelites were promised destruction for violating covenant during the Babylonian Wars. I got videos showing that the prophet Isaiah, already explained what would happen to the exiles. Those will be the only Israelites that will make up the possibility of being the New Testament people. And I show you during Greek times, man, that they disappeared and that they only lived in a certain area in Judah. Yes, a certain little small area. And then how they disappeared. Prophet Nehemiah gonna be the last one to record the history, and he gonna say, man, that they was servants messed up real bad, real bad. So the exiles, man, I got a video, man, explaining how it couldn't be no two covenants, one broken, which was during the Babylonian wars, and then this other covenant that, you know, the Israelites supposed to be up under, you know, with Jesus and all this other stuff. Man, that ain't sitting right. Almighty God don't function like that. He don't get in like that. And that you Israelites, man, that believe in New Testament history, man, I believe that you are the seed of the covenant breakers that broke covenant for Egyptian worship, and that when the Israelite can't let go of Christianity, no matter how you rebrand it or no matter what the name that you give it, is the same. Jesus worship and believing in the New Testament in any kind of way, man, it is Jesus worship, Christianity. And Israelites do Christianity, and they try to profess that they don't, but they really do. But they really do. You know what I'm saying? And if you be believing in that New Testament stuff, then you believing in Christianity and so forth. But I wanted to see if I could find this verse. All right, here it is. This Nehemiah is gonna be in it's gonna be in 443 BC. We at the end. We at the end, you know what I'm saying? But because they couldn't stop mixing and sinning and doing all kind of stuff, and they was passing the heritage over. That little 1% was passing the heritage over to the enemies. I got videos showing how 12 nations moved into the promised land. 12 of them moved in. See, when Israelites be looking at New Testament history, they ain't looking at what happened in what they call the Old Testament 500 years before. Man, 12 nations moved in. 12 nations of people moved into the promised land. 12 nations. Man, from Babylon and from everywhere. And they moved in because, man, it was vacant land. You know, and then, man, I got history showing, especially in the book of Ezekiel, where the Creator said it is over with, that our heritage was over with. That was the reason for the Babylonian wars, was to drive us up off the land. Drive us up off the land so we can go into captivity and go through the curses and learn what we learning now. You know, but some of you Israelites don't want to wake up, but you see, Malachi 430 BC. All right, Nehemiah 432 BC. All right, that's 100 years, man, before the Greeks pull up. Same, you know what I'm saying? 2-year difference ain't no difference from the book of Malachi, which saying that it's all over. But this is what Nehemiah say, and it didn't change. Behold, we are servants this day, and for the land that thou hast given unto our fathers to eat the fruit thereof and the good thereof, behold, we are servants in it, and it yielded much increase unto the kings whom thou hast set over us because of our sins. Also they have dominion over our bodies and over our cattle at their pleasure, and we are in great distress. And because of all this, we make a sure covenant and write it in our princes, Levites, and, you know, man, they was all messed up. Man, they was all messed up. And it was the end because we had broken the covenant during the Babylonian wars, the 99%. So, you know, Why wouldn't it be over? Why would the exiles get a chance to live on the promised land and then pass our heritage over to the enemies and so forth? Something had to happen to them. And the Greeks come in and finish them off so fast. And the Israelites don't know when conquerors come, when a conqueror come, and then you got some land and you are the indigenous people of the land, they killing you and taking your land and giving it to their folks. So it was just a small little bit of exiles, and then they only lived in Jerusalem. I mean, I got videos talking about the exiles, the Babylonian exiles, and how that they was destroyed, but they only lived in a little small area. So, you know, they got knocked off so fast. And then the people that was claiming our heritage, that's been in our heritage from day one since we left Egypt, that wasn't Israelites, but been with us, them folks start claiming the Israelite heritage. And those will be the New Testament people. Those are the New Testament Israelites. And Israelites don't understand that. Those are the New Testament Israelites, are the foreigners that come from Babylon and so forth. And that's why come they will be on the God Son worship, is because they roots come from there. And the Israelites be reading what them folks say. Paul say, well, I'm an Israelite and of the seed of Jacob too. Well, all the enemies that moved into the land that start claiming the Israelite heritage would start saying that they Israelites. Come on, people, y'all got to be smarter than this, man. Y'all got to be smarter than this, sisters. Y'all got to be smarter than this, brothers. Y'all know that if the enemy move into the promised land and hanging around the Israelites and get into the promised land, that's a prized possession, and that they gonna claim a Israelite heritage. So it ain't nothing for Paul to say he from the tribe of Benjamin and all this old ruckus, is because they in the land and that they folks told them that they was Israelites. That's like our folks told us we blacks, Negroes, and African Americans, and how that crap done stayed on us and it's passed down generation to generation. Well, them folks that moved into the promised land that was practicing our heritage told their children that they was Israelites after we ran off. Well, you got 1,000 years of that, 500 years of that, from the close of the Tanakh to the creation of the New Testament. You got 500 years of foreigners telling their children that they the children Israel, to where that you will see the confusion in the New Testament, because them people ain't no Israelites. I done proven this already, how the Scythians settled in the Discopolis cities. Ain't nothing gonna change that. Ain't nothing gonna change the Scythians settled in the Discopolis cities. Y'all can hang that up. That's killing the New Testament off the top. That's killing the New Testament off the top. It is that the Scythians settled in the Discopolis and ancient Beth Shan, and then you Israelites don't account for their history. Y'all don't account for nobody's history. Y'all just think the Tanakh is a continuous history over into the New Testament. And the reason that you think that is because they use that bogus genealogy that they put together for the demi-god worship. And then when you compare that genealogy to King David's genealogy that we Israelites put together, it don't match. It don't match. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm in pull it up. But this is Scythopolis. That's what Ashkenazi settled at after the Babylonian wars. And Scythopolis was the head of Discopolis city. So why would Israelites be there with them, sharing the land with them? It don't make no sense. You Israelites don't know real history. That's all it is. Y'all don't know real history, and arguing with you Israelites that believe in the New Testament is like arguing with a fool, or arguing with somebody that don't understand, arguing with somebody that got mental conditions. You know, that's why I don't argue with you. I'm telling you straight up. I'm telling you straight up that if they get the Israelite Brotherhood some play, meaning I'm working on it and they watching, and they watching, you best believe they watching, that I'm not letting no demigod worship set up in the promised land. No demigod worshipers can be among the Israelite Brotherhood. We a vanguard. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna let the demigod worship set up in the promised land. And you sure can't set up in the Israelite Brotherhood. And the Israelite Brotherhood gonna be getting some play for long. I ain't gonna keep talking about some play. Some play gonna start happening. And it ain't gonna be no demigod worship setting up in the promised land under the Israelite Brotherhood. I might be the most hated Israelite on the face of this earth. It ain't gonna matter because ain't gonna be no demigod worship. We gonna be able to deal with all other sins we can work with besides demigod and baby rapers. Baby rapers and demigods, and ain't no room for you. You know, we can work with killers, robbers, and you know what I'm saying? Some of the other sins, you know, but we ain't working with the demigod worship. It's no room for that. Israelites don't even understand Israelite history, and that's why we got kicked out the promised land. We got kicked out the promised land, men for fooling around with gods and God's sons. Any entity that is not Almighty Yah, Israelite can't worship. You cannot worship it or hold it in honor. I don't care, no problem. You cannot hold nothing in honor, man, besides Almighty Yah. But let me see if I could pull that genealogy up real quick. Old Jesus genealogy. That's correct. That our ancestors put together, and then how it's correct, but how the one that they put together for Jesus is incorrect. You know what I'm saying? It is incorrect. Let me see if I can find King Davis. Yeah. This already sure wasn't no lost tribes. Alright, King David. Alright, King David's descendancy from the end started First Chronicles 3 and then go all the way to 24. And his brother named Naniel gonna be the last of King David's descendants, and he was around about 420 BC. 420 BC, man, it's the end. You know what I'm saying? The King David's descendants being recorded. You know what I'm saying? Because the Tanakh history was cut off, because the exiles was cut off. That's why the Tanakh closed, because the exiles was closed. Almighty Yah told us it was over with. No escaping Almighty Yah when he tell you that it's over with. And it was over with for us Israelites because the majority, all of us went into Africa to do the Egyptian worship. We left the land. And then that's what Israelites don't understand, is that they think that for some reason, Israelites think that it's a continuous history. Many think that it's a continuous history and that we ain't never got kicked off the land and that we just always been there, you know, and that the only time that we got kicked off the land is when the Romans came. It's how Israelites think. And they don't understand real Israelite history. You know, they don't understand that the 99% got drove out the land during the Babylonian wars. All of us. And that it wasn't no 10 lost tribes. Man, and that's another thing. When Israelites believe in that New Testament and they think that that when the New Testament talk about take the message to the lost tribes of Israel, the gospel to the lost tribes of Israel, they don't understand Israelite history is that Tigranes the Great. Tigranes the Great. Tigranes the Great. Man, let me pull Tigranes the Great up. Tigranes the Great took over 30,000, 20,000 Jews from the Promised Land to Armenia. From the Promised Land to Armenia. And wasn't none of them black. Wasn't none of them black. Wasn't none of them black. He did this in 69 BC. Man, this is like Man, this is like 69 years before they say the Jesus fella was born. Is that Tigranes the Great left the promised land and took the Jews up to Armenia. And then this stupid Israelite on this page, you know what I'm saying, on the Facebook page, you know, I mean, it's just Israelites of all kind of walk. You know, he gonna say I'm a spy and stuff. Who am I spying? Who am I spying on? Because you Israelites ain't got a chance going to the promised land in no kind of way. Because you ain't got nobody fighting for you going to the promised land. If you look at the other organizations, they ain't nowhere close. They ain't talking to none of the folks. They all on my Facebook page. All the leaders of all the Israelite organizations is on my Facebook page, and I be looking at their page and what they talking about. And ain't none of them talking to the people that own the land that could possibly get you there. Man, I got UN officials. Man, I got bankers of men, everybody on my Facebook page from all around the world. Leaders from all walk of life. That's why they know we Israelites. You know what I'm saying? That's how we know, you know what I'm saying, they know we Israelites. But this stupid Israelite gonna say, man, this stupid Israelite gonna say, yeah, this brother right here, man, I don't put him on blast because I thought he was cool with me. And they'll do you like that, play like they cool and stuff. And then, you know, if you get to talking about Jesus, then they turn on you. You know what I'm saying? Talking about I'm confused and so forth. And that we always lived in Armenia. You know what I'm saying? And that when Tigranes the Great took the Jews to Armenia, that we live there already. Man, this man it's pure crazy. See what I'm talking about, dealing with that type of craziness, man, from Israelites, man. Dealing with that type of craziness, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Israelites control no Armenia and lived in no Armenia right below the Caucasus Mountain and so forth. Man, it's right at the Caucasus Mountain. Man, Armenia is right there, man. Ain't no Israelites that lived in Armenia, man, and so forth. And these folks, the Jews, was the predominant people of towns and so forth. So, you know, where in the world, man, he get that from? But for some reason, I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, I explained how this king took 30,000 Jews from the promised land and took them to Armenia, and wasn't none of them black. And that he didn't say, hey, give me the black ones, give me the white, give me all the white ones and all the black ones stay. Now, how is he gonna do that out of 20, 30,000 people that he just immediately snatched up? And then when he snatched them up, ain't none of them black, no black coach up there. Nowhere in Armenia below the Caucasus Mountain. So where you Israelites get that mess from? Where you Israelites get that mess from? Man, you Israelites, man, it is awful. And then you turn your nose up at me when I show you some truth. When I show you some truth. Look, check this out. Let me get that little glare out. Early medieval Armenian historians such as 5th century historians that held that during the conquest of Armenia, King Tigranes the Great, 995 to 55 BC, he brought with him 10,000 Jews, probably more than that, Jewish captives to the ancient kingdom of Armenia. Now, this is the people from the promised land just before Jesus was born. Thousands of them was took to Armenia. Now, why come none of them wasn't black? Why come none of them wasn't black? No black culture in Armenia. And then that stupid Israelite gonna try to cover it up for his mind's sake and say, well, we was already in Armenia when he took them now. Man, you is a fool. You is fools, and that's why I'm telling y'all people like that ain't coming to the promised land. Not with the Israelite Brotherhood. I'm going to have filters to scream you out. As soon as the headquarters go up, meaning the show is on the road. The show is on the road. I'm going to scream you out. You ain't going back thinking like that, man. If you can't follow and understand what I'm saying, you can't be in the Israelite Brotherhood. You ain't gonna be in the Israelite Brotherhood, but because I done laid it out. Ain't no jumping around what I say. Ain't no going around what I say, and then the Israelite Brotherhood get you there. I ain't going for that. I'm not going for that. I ain't going. So if you can't get an understanding of the history that I'm showing, then you ain't gonna make it to the promised land, because I'm showing correct history. You know, some of you Israelites, man, just hate me, man. I don't know, you know, man, it always been like that. Hate. You know what I'm saying? The truth is coming from an awkward and weird place, and possibly a weird individual to you. But, you know, some of you Israelites know me personally, you know what I'm saying? You know what time it is with me. You know what time it is with me. Man, that's another thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Back, man, to this. Man, it's a million doctrines. All the Israelites, man, whenever you read the Israelite history, and then you form your own doctrine, it's millions of doctrines. Millions of doctrines. That's what's stopping us, man, from separating. That's what's gonna stop us from. That's what's stopping us from being united and keeping us separated. Is that the Israelites got millions of doctrines? We're gonna be separated because of all the different doctrines. Can't nobody connect because there's so many different doctrines, and Israelites got their own spin. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I said to one individual, I be seeing you Israelites comment on YouTube and stuff. You know, the reason they took that video down about me showing that rabbi incorrect is that just that, me showing them incorrect. Man, it ain't got nothing to do with me kicking it or giving the what y'all call the serpent the green light. Man, you don't understand what's going on. And then, like I say, if you can't follow what I say dealing with the Israelite Brotherhood, you can get on. I don't want no Israelite around me that can't follow what I say in the Israelite Brotherhood. I don't need you, because you ain't going to do nothing but cause problems later on. I'm showing correct history and showing the correct way. And the Tanakh say that we're going to have to deal with the folks that got us in captivity. And that's what I've been doing. And if you Israelites can't understand that, then I can't help you. Man, I got a lot of friends of all walks and lives. Man, and some of them got some serious power. And I pray to Almighty y'all that power extend on down, man, to our freedom. I'm doing everything for the Israelite community. But I tell you this, and this ain't no threat, that if we make it to the promised land with the Israelite Brotherhood, if you make it to the promised land with the Israelite Brotherhood, and then you Israelites think y'all gonna cut, man, and do your own thing and so forth, I'm trying to tell you, it ain't gonna work like that. It ain't gonna work like that. We're gonna have to go home. Tanakh say so, and I pray that it's through the Israelite Brotherhood. And I'm here to tell you, man, that it ain't gonna be like how you Israelites think it's gonna be. I'm gonna show the correct way, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna have to do when we get in the promised land. But man, it ain't gonna be no, you had your doctrine, and then when you get to the promised land, you spring it out on us. Yeah, okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how they gonna work. It ain't gonna work. All right, Israelites, back to this Jesus thing. You know, Israelites don't understand that the Greeks came and took Egypt over, and that if anybody in the New Testament would have been called an Egyptian, it would have been based upon the foreigners that had took Egypt over and so forth. But let me show you Israelites. You Israelites, man, about all them folks, man, that moved into our land. And that how the New Testament ain't nothing but them. Ain't nothing but them. And ain't no way in the world you gonna make the New Testament not them. It's impossible for you to make the New Testament not them when we record in the Tanakh that them folks was in our land. And we know that the Israelites didn't deviate from their ancestral worship and go to no demigod worship. And that they got to be the folks, the foreigners that pull up and start claiming our heritage. You know how they gonna get it wrong. They gonna get it wrong. And that's what they did. And then they put that on you Israelites in slavery days. Y'all worshiping a God that our ancestors didn't know nothing about. All right, look, man, as you read Ezra 4 down, you know, they was having problems. And then this scribe, this Babylonian scribe, wrote this letter, the chancellor, and Shimi, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to the Persian king, you know, and they was representing a whole lot of tribes that had moved into the promised land. And they was writing a letter on their behalf to try to stop the work that our ancestors was doing after returning from the captivity, trying to get the temple straight and so forth. But they was messed up. But look, the Danites, the Archivites, the Fistifites, the Archivites, the Babylonians, the Susians, man, the the Hattites, the Elamites, not counting the folks in that come from Assyria that was placed in our land. Let me show them. So all these folks gonna be the folks in the New Testament. All these folks gonna be the folks in the New Testament, cause the folks in the Old Testament, the Tanakh, didn't worship God's sons, had no understanding of it, and you can't take no one or two verses in the Tanakh and say, well, this is Jesus worship right here. You know, one brother post something that he said that a song about King David, about getting stabbed on the side. Man, King David was in all kind of wars. Ain't no telling why he made that psalms and so forth. And then a lot of the prophecies about somebody getting stabbed and so forth being a sacrifice for the nation is going to be King Josiah, because King Josiah was shot up by them Egyptians, and ain't no telling what they shot him up at. You know what I'm saying? When they killed him after he cleaned the Egyptian religion up. But look here, these folks moved into they was placed into the promised land. And the Israelites don't even say nothing about these folks. Man, could these be the New Testament peoples? No, they don't think like that. They don't know nothing about real meant to knock history. That's why I say you got to follow the Israelite Brotherhood. If you ain't following the Israelite Brotherhood, you really ain't finna know no real history. All right, look. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Cuddar and from Aval and from Hamath and from Sebharavim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. So by the time you add up all them nations that moved in, not counting the Amorites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, the Edomites, man, there was about 20 nations of people in the promised land that was connected to God's son worship. Man, the Egyptians, is Horus, man, they say Christianity is a direct knockoff of it. And then we know that the Babylonians had the God's son worship. That's all their history is. That's all their history is God's son worship. So all those folks move into the promised land, and there it is. Because the people from the Tanakh all the way down to the exiles worship one Yah. And then a 500-year blank period come in, and then this God's son worship pop up. And then we starting to show that those folks are not Israelites, but Edomites. You see what I'm saying? So, man, something ain't right. That's going to be the foreigners, the people that settled in our land and that moved to our land while we was having our troubles. That's why they worship is not the same as ours. Can't you Israelites understand that? Can't you Israelites understand that? That's the reason why their worship is not the same as ours, is because they gonna be the settlers. The settlers. Look, Second Kings, look, you see them folks right there move in, the Syrians placed them, and then I just showed you in the book of Ezra. You know what I'm saying? I just showed you in the book of Ezra where they was placed. Where the folks crying to the Babylonian, to the Persian king, man, about us not doing what they want us to do and so forth. So, it's them folks. Look at all them folks. Man, look at all them nations. You can't say how many. And then I show during the after the Babylonian captivity end, that a whole bunch of folks come from Babylon that believed in God's sons, that was with the exiles. A whole bunch of them, the Nethinims. It was all kind of peoples pulling up that we couldn't say, hey man, we don't know where y'all come from, man, that y'all ain't no Israelites. And we didn't get them marked in our genealogy, but set them to the side and so forth. It was a bunch of them. All right, all of them come from areas where they worship God's sons. We not supposed to worship God's sons. That's what the whole covenant was about, was to get rid of God's son worship. And then here you Israelites think that we supposed to be worshiping or believing in the God's son any kind of way. No, no, we can't do that. We can't do that, and we ain't gonna do that. And then that's why I say that if we get a shot, we're gonna get a shot by the grace of Almighty Yah. And that when it shot come from, look, it's only gonna be Yah worshipers in the promised land. Change your ways now. Change your ways now, man. Man, it's only gonna be Yah worshipers. You know what I'm saying? Some of them Israelites, man, mad, man, because man, I got some high-ranking figures, men on my, some of them Illuminati members. Just put it like that. Everybody got to know the truth. That the Queen of England is my friend. Man, I think Putin is on my friend list. Everybody got to know the truth. And them folks embracing me with this truth because they know what I'm showing is true. I ain't using no myths. Man, I got 80, 90,000 hours of continuous research. I done put my work in. I done put my work in. And then if you this far and I didn't accept you and say you a member of the Israelite Brotherhood, you already know that, you know what I'm saying, I done put the work in for this history for us. And it's all this history's for the Israelite community. Man, I could be doing a whole bunch of other things in life that I ain't got to just, but this my job. This my job. This is what I was chosen to do. What I was chosen to do. You know what I'm saying? All right, Israelites. You Israelites that believe in that New Testament demi-god worship. Paul was an Edomite. Romans 16:11. Romans 16:11. I greeted Herodian, my relative. That's all he need to say. Ain't no escaping Paul being an Edomite, as well as the other individuals. Ben Sosa. Man, I had a whole list, man, of a bunch of Edomite priests that was hanging around her temple. You Israelites think that the exiles, just continued all the way down to New Testament history, and y'all ain't trying to account for that 500 years of blank history from the close of the Tanakh to the creation of the New Testament. And then those books, those apocryphal books, those are the Jewish people's books that we abandoned our heritage to during the Babylonian Wars. I got a video explaining how we abandoned our heritage to the peoples that moved in the land, and then the peoples that we didn't destroy, and how we left them with our heritage and went over into Africa where we was enslaved from, and then how did those folks got our heritage, and man, it is what they got today. You know, but you Israelites, man, don't know real Israelite history, and that you think you do. You could be read 1,000,000 books, man, of Almighty y'all ain't opening your eyes to see some truth the way it's supposed to be presented to the Israelite community, then your history gonna fall apart. You know, the history that I show, man, you can see it. I'm showing you how the people got into our heritage. I got plenty of videos covering that. The Israelites that believe in the New Testament, they don't account for the people that moved into our heritage. They just pick the New Testament up and just say, we Israelites and this is our history, and then just run with it. They don't understand nothing about the people that settled in our land, and nothing about that. None of these peoples are doing nothing what the people in the Old Testament did. They ain't taking none of that into consideration. And that how these people believe in the God's Son in the New Testament, but in the Old Testament, they only believe in Yah. They ain't taking that the settlers moved in and that they was already worshiping God's sons, and then they started thinking that they was Israelites after being there, man, a long time. Yeah, man, they thinking that they Israelites, man, from being there for a long time. And Israelites, man, ain't understanding that. Israelites ain't understanding it. That's why it's 1,000,000 doctrines in the Israelite community. But I got the history to make us all one if you listen to me. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood, and I pray the Israelite, man, community is doing well. And I ain't been communicating, man, as much as I want to, but I'm going to start back picking the communication up with, you know what I'm saying, with the Israelites, man. I got a lot of little stuff, man, on the plate, man, that I've been trying to, take care of. And but soon as the headquarters go up, man, we doing this 24/7, and then we gonna try to spread it. Much love to the Israelite Brotherhood family. Shalom, family. Much love.